The dental marketing landscape is constantly evolving. If you wonder how your practice can do a better job of attracting new patients online, join dental SEO expert Ross Dunn and various guests for a regular exploration of the dental marketing services proven to attract new patients. Take a break and join your host, Ross Dunn, for a lively discussion on Dental Web Marketing 101.
How does dental SEO work? This is something that comes up a lot in our business, and it's a good question. It's very broad, so I have to broadly answer, which is actually a good thing for many of our clients, because frankly, you guys, our prospects anyways, and dentists, you have a lot on your plate, and there's plenty to learn about this. So from a 101 perspective, which is perfect, let's talk about what is required to make dental SEO work. First of all, you need to understand how Google chooses a winning website. They need to be sure that you've earned the right to rank. They're looking at two factors, relevance and authority. Now, relevance, that's the kind of content that's on your website that Google can crawl and then try to understand. When it goes through the website, it wants to find content that is relevant to what you offer. That's logically what's there anyway. But when they're going through the site, they're going to try to figure out, if we're talking about sedation dentistry, well, that page had better be devoted to that, not all of a sudden talking about, you wouldn't want half the page written about an entirely different topic, such as braces. It wouldn't make any sense to Google, and they want to see a very clear picture of what we're talking about. Of what you're talking about, I should say. Then we're also looking at ensuring that there's enough content within the site that talks about the different services and perhaps even products that you offer. Next is the authority.
Let's say a dentist was doing teeth whitening and it was a major service at his office. He would want to optimize that or get as much authority or relevance with that?
Yeah, and I'm glad you said major, because if it's something that is a big target for that dentist, you'd want to ensure there's a full page devoted to it at least, and you'd want to ensure that anywhere on the site, within reason, you don't want to go overboard, but if something mentions teeth whitening on a different page, that links to that teeth whitening page. It's very simple. Right. It's very straightforward. And the beauty about SEO is it isn't rocket science. However, it is very, there's a lot of steps to it, and it's important not to miss any. So Google wants to see that if it's an important page on your website, there are links pointing to it within your site and also externally. And that's the authority piece we'll get into in a sec too.
Does it matter how many services he's trying to optimize, or should he focus on ones that bring in the highest revenue, or is it best to optimize everything so you get more attention?
Well, I would say that it's better to focus on a few that are higher ticket. For example, if you do cosmetic dentistry, that's a pretty awesome target for rankings, and it's good for the bottom line. I would focus on a few of those. You definitely want to give some real estate to all of your products and services, but definitely pick a few that are the top. I would say, let's arbitrarily say 4, maybe 5, and make sure that those are really, really well written. Hopefully you've gone the whole 9 yards, even added video, and not something that has been, and none of this content, including the images, cannot be taken from a provider's website. It can't be duplicated. This needs to be custom, and it needs to be high quality.
So would a dentist, if he takes his own pictures in the office, uses his own pictures, and a video, that better than just putting on some stock pictures or video?
So much. Yeah. And people can tell, and it looks normal. Unfortunately, it's everywhere. People seem to have stock photography everywhere, and it doesn't inspire any confidence, doesn't make you feel connected to the practice. And also Google can tell. It's not going to give you any extra value or benefit for those images. Whereas if you have them properly created, they look great. They can induce a bit of trust to the visitor, maybe even inspire them to give you a shot if they're really nervous and they're looking at different providers in the area. And for video, even better. I mean, they can get a feel for who you are, and
Right.
that's so undervalued in this market because you're putting your hands in their mouth. You know, they want to
Right.
be
Yeah,
sure you know what
literally.
you're doing. And if you're a great person and you've got a great personality, even better. If you're simply really good at what you do and you want to portray that, video is the way to go. Text is not.
So we're talking about actual, let's say, pictures of the office, pictures of the staff, candid photos, and then
Not too
pictures of the
candid.
dentist doing things. What? Sorry?
Not too candid.
Yeah, right, right. Clothes on.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and then a video of the office, of course. That's and a video would be introduced by the dentist. Would it be do you recommend a voiceover, or can it just be? Does it matter?
uh, I would suggest it's done by the dentist. I know that can be a bit of a nervous thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And I get that, but it's also something you'll get better at as you practice, and it's well worth it. It's proven time and again.
Right. We've seen that. Clients a little bit apprehensive. Then they have this great videographer come in, and the end result is always worth watching. It's
It
great.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. And
Yeah.
you'll be surprised at how good a good videographer can make you look and feel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Feel being a big key thing because nerves are big, and
Makes
videographers are used to dealing with that.
right. Right. Yeah.
They've always got a flask next to them, or no, just kidding, to help you out.
It's tough work.
Yeah. um, the other aspect of ensuring relevance is that you create great content around commonly asked questions. And you can find out some of these commonly asked questions easily by just going to Google and searching for a particular, again, you could type in sedation dentistry and see what kind of common questions are being asked. Google shows those to you on the page when you do the search. It's that simple. And start creating content around that. And I don't mean making a page full of all those answers. I mean, dedicating a page to that answer, dedicating a page to the next answer. It's really good quality stuff.
What I'm hearing too is that it's important for our clients to be involved in their marketing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And pardon the pun, but it's like pulling teeth at times. And I get it. We're all busy. No one really loves marketing except marketers.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has to be a partnership if it really succeeds. We act like, when we're working with our clients, we act as their marketing division and their team. And we need to also pass tasks to the owner, unfortunately. And
our clients that do that and get used to it. At the start, it's always a bit of a hassle for them, but our clients that really work with us, they are the most successful. They're the happiest. They've got the most, the greatest culture in house. It all seems to come together when they get involved.
Night and day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's just a staggering difference. I wish I could put a number on it, but it's phenomenal. And yeah, it's amazing. So the next piece is authority. Now, authority is about impressing Google and users. Remember, it's not all about SEO. It's about ensuring that prospective patients are going to your website and feeling like you're the one. And Google's looking for those same signals. They just look for it from an algorithmic perspective. So they want to see certifications. They want to see examples of your work, testimonials. Those are something that practices are okay at building, but need to do a better job of in many cases. They also want to see that, because practices are inherently local, they want to see local signals. And those signals are that your name, address, and phone number, we call it the NAP, is consistent across many local directories. These are directories that talk about your business, and they're saying, yeah, they're at this address. They're at this phone number.
What's an example of a site we want to update that information? Yelp or Yelp, or is
Oh,
that an
yeah,
example?
yeah. Yelp's an example. Citations could be Yellow Pages, could be, gosh, yeah,
Are there
it's
dozens or hundreds? And over
hundreds.
time, hundreds. Okay.
But really, the ones that matter are probably 50 right off the top. After that,
Okay.
it's just tiny, benefits from doing it. But just keeping 50 in sync can be difficult. And sometimes they add new features, and this is what we're always on top of for our clients. They may add, okay, you now have the ability to add images, or you can put a post in, or you need to update your hours across all these because the holidays are
Oh,
coming up.
that's tough. Yeah.
That's a big one right now. We're trying to contact every single client because the holidays.
Yeah.
There's always a holiday coming up, and we want to make sure that that's reflected within their profile. It looks good to Google. It looks good to the actual platforms that are providing this information. It looks like you're keeping up to date, and they benefit. They usually reward you for it.
And
Um,
it helps the clients, patients.
well, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's always what it's going to come down to,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, on top of that, when you're looking at authority, you also want to, from a local perspective, try to support anything from a local baseball team to providing, doing some charity output, things that build a little bit of news that might get you some press, that at least, like, perhaps you're supporting a local church. That church has a sponsors page which says, which thanks all their sponsors and provides a link to your website, or at least mentions your business. All of this information is noted by Google, and it helps. Not all of them are created equal by any stretch, but it is helpful. Better Business Bureau may be useful, but I would think that, actually, right off the top of my head, Chamber of Commerce is probably the
Right.
first thing we tell each one of our
How
dentists.
and how many of these, or how frequently should a dental office add one of these to their roster? So they sign up for the Chamber of Commerce. Should they, in a few months later, should they have another activity such as sponsoring a baseball team or local school sports jerseys? Is it something that needs to be going on consistently? Do they need to do this 6 times a year kind of thing? I know the Chamber of Commerce is a sign up and it's good for a year, but how often do these activities need to take place?
Mm, it really depends how competitive your market is. If it's a really intense local area, like you got a ton of different practices all competing for the same business, um, or maybe there's an entrenched competitor you're trying to beat out, then you may want to do it more often. Um, but if you're trying to stabilize or at least entrench your current rankings and your current visibility, maybe just once a year. I would say the majority of them, the practices we work with, if they're doing any of this, is once a year. They're not doing more than that.
And to show how well this is doing, it'll appear during our monthly report that an SEO company would send to the client, such as we send to our clients. It would reflect in there, showing results, better
Um,
results.
well, we would first outline that we have built citations. Um, really, when it comes down to any kind of third party local signal that you as a practice have built, then that's just something you notify us of, and we go, excellent, okay, great, you've got that signal. And generally we see a boost in rankings, yes, but it
Excellent.
does take time. Nothing is quick online.
We just had a client the other day that joined the chamber and asked us for help setting it up, which was good of the client to suggest that, because there's a few questions in there that a client may not be able to answer. For the Chamber of Commerce, that made sense. But I guess, yes, if you're going to be doing the jerseys, we have to talk about this. If you're going to be, let's say, sponsoring a high school team, they have to have on their website a mention of the practice, correct?
Yeah, you want to have some kind of exposure there. Now, either way, you're getting great press. It's good for your business.
Okay.
And to wrap things up here, that's really what you want. You want that authority. You want to show Google that you've earned the right to rank. Google has a thing called like expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. It's called EAT. It's one of their acronyms they love to push. And all of this adds up to that. And adding certifications, maybe being interviewed by the local newspaper because you're doing this charity work. All these things add up. And between that and relevance, your website's going to be in an amazing place to succeed. There's lots of other things that we do for our clients, and every practice is a little bit different, but this is a great way to start. And I hope these tips have helped you out. All
right. That was very informative. Thanks, Ross.
You're very welcome. And hope everyone else has found it helpful as well. Until next time, we will, at which point I believe we'll have some really interesting information about, I believe it was one topic that you brought up. And what was that?
If you're thinking about marketing a dental practice, 5 reasons you should outsource your marketing.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, all.
You have just listened to another episode of Dental Web Marketing 101 with SEO expert Ross Dunn. We hope you enjoyed the show and gained some insight on how to attract new patients online. To subscribe and access the show notes, please visit dwm101.com. Join us again next week, and until then, keep on smiling.